So Jamaica, here is the problem you sent me. They are asking you to look at these points, and remember, these points just represent values of x and y. So very quickly, I'm just going to label, just remind you, this is x, this is y, x, y, and so forth, right? And they're asking you to decide which type of relationship these points model. Do they model an inverse relationship between x and y? In other words, if x goes up, y goes down. Or do they model a direct relationship between x and y, where if x goes up, y goes up, if x goes down, y goes down? That's what you're trying to decide. And so, but what's always true, regardless of which relationship it is that k is a constant. It has to be the same regardless of what points you plug in. In other words, no matter which point you choose of the 5 that you're given, k should come out to be the same every time. So what you can do is you can just test that to see which model is correct. So you can see I've already tested the first one in green. I wrote y equals kx, and then I just chose the first 2 points. I could have chosen any 2 points. I just did the first 2. And I plugged in, for the first one, I let x be 5 and y be 24. And then I solve for k by dividing by 5 on both sides. And I get k equals 24 over 5. So then I did it again, and I just chose the next point, which is 10, 12. So I plug 12 in for y and 10 in for x, and I solve for k by dividing by 10. And you can see that I get 12 over 6, but that 12 over 10, but that reduces to 6 over 5. And we see that 6 over 5 does not equal 24 over 5. So this cannot be the correct relationship. So now let's test the other one and just make sure it does work. So now I'm going to use those. I can use those same points if I want. So y is going to be 24, and that's going to be equal to k over x, which is 5. And now to solve for k, I'm going to multiply by 5 on both sides. And on this side, remember that 5 is on the bottom, so if I multiply by 5 and divide by 5, that cancels. 5 times 24 is 120. You can check that in your calculator, but I'm getting k is 120. Now, if I do the exact same thing, so this was my first point, I can try that again with the next point. So I'm going to have 12 is equal to k over 10. And again, if I multiply by 10 on both sides, I'm going to get 12 times 10 is 120. And I can cancel the 10s on the other side, and I get k is 120. And if you still just wanted to check one more time, let's pick the point. Let's go with 26, just to confirm. So 6 is equal to k over 20. And if I multiply by 20 on both sides, you can check it again in your calculator, but 6 times 20 is indeed 120. So in this case, I'm getting k is 120 every time. So the correct model is going to be the second one, y equals k over x. So which is your inverse relationship. If x goes up, y is going to go down. So, and you can see that in the model. As x goes up, x goes from 5 to 10 to 15, y drops from 24 to 12 to 8. So we say that's an inverse relationship. Now what we can do, I know you had to find the actual rule, the relationship. So, and then I can't remember what the other part of the question was, but I think you'll be okay if I show you the next part. So let me just erase, oh, is it going to let me erase? Yes. I'm going to get rid of this side just so that I have room to work and I can show you. So they want you now, you know that k is 120. And we know that the model we want to use is y equals k over x. So over here, I'm going to write y equals k over x. And now I'm going to replace k with 120. So y equals 120 over x. And so this is your model with your value of k plugged in. And this means that if you were given any value for x, any number to plug in for x, you could use this model and find the y, the output there. And you could even test this, again, we never used 15 and 8. So if we said 8, that's our y value, is equal to 120 over 15, I think you could see there in your calculator that if you take 120 and divide it by 15, you will indeed get 8. And so that's really all there is to this. Check both models by just plugging in the values for x and y and solving for k. And then k has to come out the same every time, and then that's how you'll know you have the correct model. And then once you know what k is, you just plug that number in to the correct model, and you're done. You found your formula, okay? I hope that helps. Come see me tomorrow when we have school, or you can email me later today. Have a good one.